Twitter unveiling a new community-driven approach to combat misleading information on its platform.
All right, the new engine and the new feature called Birdwatch allows users to add notes they think are needed to add context to any tweet, including news outlets, reporters, and elected officials. I thought that was under comments already.
But will this just lead to more censorship online? Here to react, biotech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. He joins us from the West Coast. Vivek, good morning to you.
Morning.
Okay, so don't know exactly why Twitter is coming up with Birdwatch, where anybody can say, hey, I don't think this is accurate, and can attach their own notes that will be visible eventually to everybody. What are they doing here?
Yes, so if you trace back to what happened a couple of weeks ago, what we saw was actually the liberal wing of government, liberal wing of Congress, delegating to these social media companies the dirty work that they couldn't directly do under the Constitution. That was the work of censorship. Not only President Trump, but hundreds of conservatives had their accounts purged after what happened on January 6th. So that was step one. These companies took criticism, they took heat. So now, of course, we see step two, where they're now delegating that dirty work to their own users, who now aren't going to debate each other, but are going to try to cancel one another. And I think it's incredibly divisive.
I want to get your reaction to Twitter's statement. They say the reason we're pursuing Birdwatch is because we've heard people say that context may be more impactful when it comes from the community rather than Twitter or any singular institution. Our hope is to provide a dedicated channel for these types of contributions people are already making through their own replies, quote tweets, and reports to us. So let me play devil's advocate. If someone, we saw when we were introducing you, there was someone that posted, whales are not real. So then someone else would post, that's not true, and here's the information you need to know. Don't you get both sides of the story?
Well, look, how is that different than ordinary debate in the way these social media sites worked before?
Exactly.
The reason it's different is it steers us towards cancel culture on steroids, right? We're no longer debating directly about the ideas. That's a good thing. People being exposed to ideas that are different than their own, that's what the heart of free speech is all about. This is different. This is about debating who should be permitted eventually to speak or who ultimately should be on the road to having their voice canceled. That's a different kind of debate. It's a divisive debate, and it perverts the kind of debate we're actually supposed to be having about the ideas themselves, if that makes sense.
And for the record, Ainsley did not post that whales aren't real, because we all know whales are real, we think.
You say.
Have a good consensus. But Vivek, let me ask you something. In the big picture, if the New York Post story comes out and it's right before the election, now that there's Birdwatch, does the story in theory post? And then people can get in and say, right-wing hit job, not true, Russian disinformation, and is it that all in front of us? Is that the change you think Twitter's envisioning?
Well, with all due respect, I think that might be missing the big picture of what's actually happening here. What's actually happening is these policies are changing every day on the fly. It's Birdwatch today, it'll be Snail Watch tomorrow. Right. It's ultimately what side of the bed Jack Dorsey wakes up on a given day. They censored Trump, they censored conservatives, they changed their terms of service really on the fly. And so what this really is corporate monarchy. And in a way, this Birdwatch, so-called Birdwatch program, as I see it, is a way of just papering over the fact that this is actually arbitrary rulemaking on a day-to-day basis. And that's what's the danger here is these aren't companies constrained by the Constitution. They're companies unconstrained by anything other than the whims of the people who lead them. We should call that out for what it is, as though we're pretending as though this program isn't just another on-the-fly decision.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think they get up every day and they figure out, okay, what fire do we need to put out? Because we're just making this stuff up as we go, because 230 has given us all this liability exemption. You say that Joe Biden, if he were a president for all Americans, would get Jack Dorsey on the horn and talk to him about this, right?
Absolutely. I think the single most unifying thing that Joe Biden could do, and I heard his speech, and look, as an American, I'm rooting for him to succeed in unifying this country. It's the most important thing he could do. The way to do it, step one, the easiest thing he could do, is call on every one of these social media giants to restore the accounts of conservatives that were purged over the course of the last couple weeks. Right. You don't unify the country just by answering the demands of the people who put you in office. It's by winning the hearts and the minds of the people who don't, who disagree with you. Restore their voice, and that will be a down payment on unifying this country going forward. And I hope he does it. I'm not holding my breath, but I hope he does it because I care about actually unifying this country. And if he does, that's the easiest thing he could do as a leader.
Great.
Vivek, thank you so much. Thanks for teaching us about birds and whales and snails this morning. We got it all in.
And the animal kingdom.
That's right.
Thank you.
I learned something too. Thank you.
Have a good one.